Hello everyone, I really hope you're all doing well. Today I want to talk about the Moleskine Quality in 2020. Where is it at? Has it gotten better or worse? Where's the paper quality at? And just my personal opinion on the brand and how it has evolved over the years. And most of you probably don't know this, but what actually got this channel started was me getting really disappointed with Moleskine notebooks about 6 years ago, and trying to explore other notebook brands and options as a great alternative to a then declining brand, in my opinion. And I've found a lot of great journals, and I've been journaling my entire life, but Moleskine was the first time I actually fell in love with a notebook. I remember purchasing, it was back in 2003, and I just loved using it. I carried it everywhere. It was like a companion that, I just put all my thoughts and ideas in there, and it kind of felt this bond with a notebook in a way that I've never felt before. Before I just put my thoughts onto paper, but there was never like a connection that I felt to an actual notebook, and this is the first time I just really loved using a notebook. And it was my favorite brand. It's pretty much the only journal I used, even though it's expensive, even at the time. And then the Moleskine Quality really started to decline back in 2013 or 14. And that was incidentally when the company went public. So it might be coincidence, maybe not, but maybe the quality really went downhill when they tried to improve the profit margins because they were, traded at the stock market and just wanted to look good in the eyes of their shareholders at the expense of paper quality and just manufacturing a cheaper product. And then I made a video about this journal right here that has really atrocious paper that it uses. Is really dark line. Just feels like something that should be in a journal that costs $2 or $3, but not $10 to $15 at the time, and just also fell apart right there. It was just really poor quality product. Yeah, and I became really disappointed with the brand, and I switched to other brands for a while. I stopped purchasing Moleskine. And the only thing I also want to say about this notebook, several people commented on that video that this is a counterfeited product. It's not a genuine Moleskine, but I did purchase this at a store in person, and that store is a authorized Moleskine retailer, so that is definitely a genuine Moleskine product. And I also remember going to a Moleskine store in New York City in 2014, and the paper quality was very inconsistent in the journals. Most of them had kind of cheaper feeling paper in them, and not the original Moleskine paper that I fell in love with many years ago. So, to the paper quality, Moleskine has never been a fountain pen friendly paper. Even when the original company that was founded in 1997, Moto made the first Moleskines, they never had great paper quality in terms of it being fountain pen friendly, and I can prove that to you. I have here one that I purchased in 2007. I can show you. It still says Moto here. The name changed to Moleskine in 2006, so this has probably been made 2006 or prior, and I started using it in 2007. And I have a writing sample in here because I didn't use like the last few pages here. And as you can see in the back here, there's definitely, even back in the old days, bleed through with the fountain pen. It was never great with fountain pens and probably never will be. But the reason why I absolutely love this paper, as somebody who doesn't use fountain pens very often, Moleskine paper has a softness to it that I have not seen in any other brand, except maybe Leuchtturm uses similar paper. It feels like velvet when you touch it, and it gives you a nice smooth writing experience. And that softness of that paper, in my opinion, is unique to Moleskine. So I purchased several notebooks more recently. I have here a daily planner for 2020 in large. Then I have an extra large professional planner, and then I've purchased these two hardcover notebooks, a pocket one, and then the large regular sized one. So let's check out my writing samples. Here we have the pocket one and the hardcover one. And blank, as you can see in the back, there is pretty much bleed through with all of them with the fountain pens, but the paper quality is that really lovely soft Moleskine paper that they used many years ago and started to use more consistently again. And then it's the same paper as well in this daily planner right here that I've been using quite frequently, daily. And then here we have the only one that has slightly different paper in it is this XL planner. And interestingly enough, this paper feels a little thinner and not quite as soft and a little flimsier than the other papers, but then when you look at the writing sample, it does not bleed through as much as the other paper I've been using, even though it feels like cheaper paper. So these three are consistent with the really signature Moleskine paper. This XL one has slightly different paper in it, but none of them are like this awful paper they used back in 2014 when it really just felt like cheap paper from a drugstore. So I think they are getting more consistent again with the paper they use in their notebooks. As I said, if you are a fountain pen user, you're really better off trying a different brand like Brody or Clairefontaine, Dingbats. There's great companies that make slightly heavier paper that are excellent for fountain pens. But if you do not use fountain pens, you just use a ballpoint pen or a gel pen, you can be really happy with a Moleskine. And I'm going to make a second video where I talk about more about the history of Moleskine in the 20 years of or just over 20 years now of it being in development, and show you some older journals as well. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I have been using Moleskine more again lately, especially with my planners, because I really love their format, and I haven't found a different planner that I like quite as much, so I started using Moleskine again on a more consistent basis. I still use a lot of other journals, but Moleskine was my first notebook love, and I was going to acknowledge that. And it's also the company that brought back a notebook culture and kind of revived people using notebooks. And whether you love or hate Moleskine, they were definitely influential in creating this whole notebook culture and community that's around these days. So yeah, definitely an important brand to be aware of. And yeah, please let me know how you feel about Moleskine, what your experiences are. So I think the paper quality is better. I don't know if I just got lucky with my purchases or if they're really more consistent again and they're paying more attention to their quality to, you know, justify their high price tag. Is it overpriced? Yes, it is. You pay for the brand, you pay for the name, but you still get a nice notebook. So please let me know. Do you love Moleskine? Do you hate it? What are your experiences with it? I'm really curious to hear from you. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.